make our game clickable. So, right, so we have our grid. Wait, let me undo this first. I was doing something silly. I made a modification off stream. I shouldn't do that. I'll stream everything in this entire game development. The entire point of this game is, you know, to stream it. Oh. New, run, new, blah, blah, blah. That's me trying to make KG Vodka work, but it's abandoned. So we have our grid. Now we can click and we'll do that, but that's fine. Oh, IDs aren't drawn. Weird. Oh, maybe we miss a line. Maybe we should add another point to here. Finish. That's probably a bug, yes. Yeah, I realize why that's happening now. But let's explain what we're going to do first. So we click here, and then I want to make this a color. I want to show the user that they clicked on 4,3. We know we clicked on 4,3 because we have it in the logs, right? But I want to display it properly. 3,3, let me show it here. Actually, it's better if I can just show these windows next to each other. So if I click 0,3, it shows up in here. And that's what we want. Or a bit of double clicking. I guess it's both for up and down. So this is down, this is up. It's actually pretty good. They already figured out for us how many clicks are going on, because from hardware you'll may get multiple signals. So you need to kind of figure that out as well. This is for both down and up. Okay. Right. So what are we gonna do? Let's write that down first. What are we even doing? Yeah. There. You go down a little bit. There. More. Perfect. Now my face doesn't take up too much real estate. That. Okay. I'll make this a little to do. Do we have a to do? To do. Hey Sour, how are you doing? Welcome. To do. Apparently we don't even have a to do list in here. We do maybe goal. There we go. Oh, we detected click. We fixed that, right? We can do it now. We're clicking on 0,2. We figured out it's 0,2. We should also fix up our little quick check thing, because yesterday evening late I figured out why by thinking about it. It's just snapping the pixels to grid, so that other property doesn't even make any sense. But for tiles it does make sense. Yeah, I'm good as well. Welcome to second day of streaming. And we're on a streak. Quick check. Oh, you even wrote about quick check. Oh, that's yeah, we should look at it later. That's a small task. But what we want to do today is if we click on this tile, we want to make it change color. So if we click on 2,2 tile, it should become green or something. So it's selected. That's the goal of today. So the user will see which tile is being selected right now. Yeah. So select show selected tile on screen. And now we're no longer gonna need these blog posts anymore because we figured everything out. But first we're gonna do the quick check thing, because currently one of our test suite is failing. But that should be quite easy to solve, because I went and thought about things. Oh, make test, right? We made a make file for this stuff. So let's see, we have spec, hexagon spec. The problem is that this property is not quite true, because what happens in detect tile is that we're getting a tile out, 0,1 for example, and then detect point will put out a point, but this point will not be the same as the point that comes out here, because it will be truncated to the tile. So if you have tile 0,1 being put out, and this detect point will, these names are also wrong by the way, but it won't exactly be the same as this point. It will be in some pre-specified range, which we know of, but yeah. So I was thinking of just making this test be like in a bounding box of that other point. So if you are in that bounding box, then the test succeeds. Or we can just delete it because it's not necessary. We have the other one already. But that brings up the other problem. Oh, right, we made this a constant, right? We made size, x size. We made this a constant, which could be okay. For example, we will not allow any zooming, but we probably won't need that. until we have fun in our game, you know. At which point we're probably gonna abandon this project. But yeah, we can export size. Hexagon.size. Of course, clashes, I think. So instead of size, you'll be called hex size. G. Okay, and the tactile will become the tactile. This will be pixel to tile. G. And the tect point will be tile to pixel. G. Those are better names. Those exactly tell me what they're doing. Alt hex size. Oh no. Really like fantasy consoles. What do you mean by console? Or like console games, I guess. Right, so in Gast, Echo 8. Let me quickly check this. Ah, I've seen this before. It's like really limited things you can do in this. So it becomes quite easy to do game development because you get the restrictions put on you. Well, we are doing something, I believe we are doing something similar, but we put in those restrictions on ourselves. First of all, choosing reflex. Second of all, choosing SDL, you know, we're not gonna make any 3D games here. I mean, I hope no one was hoping for 3D games, but it's not gonna happen. Yeah, I think that's, like it allows you to... Did you actually make anything? I would be interested in playing that. They show my CTO in Australia was talking about that. That's kind of interesting. No, I'm just playing. You should make something. It's easier because there are restrictions. There are fewer options, which makes things easier, ironically enough. We need to fix that. And we also need to fix the other thing. Okay. Oh, also in Gast, I guess. Pixel to tile. Okay. We're not even using the other one here. It's hella harder since you gotta use the built-in text editor. That's problematic, yes. But these should be a bounding box instead of true equality. Yeah, so as you can see here, after 2 strings, you put in some random value, but it gets truncated to whatever the tile puts out. And I think it's kind of hard to know the bounding box of a tile. You actually need to render it with hexagon, which is actually the thing you're testing for as well. So I would say like, okay, you get the X, Y thing, and then you get like plus AT or plus hex size and minus hex size to play with. And I think that's correct-ish. But we didn't export it, did we? So we got like hex size. Where's hex size? There it is. We'll export this one as well. Did I stylish this? This doesn't look stylish at all. This looks kind of abysmal. Maybe we should use Brittany instead. Do we have Brittany? Brittany or Haskell stylish. Didn't do anything. Format. And then we do Haskell stylish. That looks better. It looks a lot better actually. Maybe it fucked up some of my compositions somewhere, but it's not that bad. And this is also a bit dubious. You can use Git to fix that, I guess. Actually, I really like this. Alright, let's just keep it. Whatever. Hex label is equal to that. So you should be here. You should be here. That's better. So we're assigning the position and we're assigning the label to the default hex. That's how I'm reading that. You're just applying these functions, right? You're applying setting a label, you apply setting the position on top of the default hex. Hello Prutz, how are you doing? We are fixing tests basically now. But the goal we have is to show the selected tile on screen because currently we don't do that. This should actually be quite easy as well, I think. After that we'll probably start filling in the game itself by making a little menu first on top of the hexagons. And then we need to start thinking about, you know, the game. But let's commit all this refactoring stuff first. factor hexagon modular with formatting. What is reflex? Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. It's like, ooh, do I want to do this? It's this stuff. So we got a dynamic writer thing, and we got the monad reader. Oh, that's, I guess, not this stuff, but it's this constraint, reflex SDLTM. So we get like a timeline and it gets attached to the monad sort of. And that allows us to reason about time through things like events and behaviors, which is a functional reactive programming concept. A question as good, no, what is a monad is not a good question. It's the wrong question to ask. Like, the right question is, how do you use it? I guess that's also true for reflex. How do you use this thing? Well, you use it to abstract over time. So we get some event at some point in time. We don't know when, and they build functions to deal with that event over time. So that's it. We mostly work with dealing with events, to be honest, but there's also this thing called behavior, which is some value that can change over time. And then you got this like combination of events and behaviors, which is the dynamic. And that will just send out an event every time it changes. So you have time as a bunch of values in your language. No, actually they use it as, they kind of make it harder to access it. So you normally can't quite get it out, and you have to use these special functions to access them. For example, hold view. This is a special function. And what we're doing here is we got these events out, right? The mouse button event data blah. And what we're doing then is, by default, we will pretend we don't have any tile, so it's nothing, until we get one of these events, so a mouse click. And then we're going to use this function instead. So hold view has this default value, and then once we get any event, we can use this function, because then we have the value. So they kind of made like they made it more hard to access it. So you have to always access it in the right way, so you don't make any mistakes, basically. It's a strict API, a really strict API. Looks nicer. As opposed to just being there like in imperative languages. Time is a bunch of values in your language. It's not, this is not from Haskell, right? This is reflex. So we don't actually have a value for time in this case. It's being put in these things, these events things. That are not even, they are functors, but they're not monads. If you use an imperative language, you are working with time by putting your statements earlier and later. Well, we're doing that as well with do blocks, right? Not true quite, because in reflex we sometimes have to use fix as well. But yeah, let's not talk about that yet. We'll probably encounter that at some point. So, what was I doing? All right, we're fixing the quick check thing. Fix quick check. I'm just gonna lax that constraint because it's not right what I'm doing with that spec. So this is too strict because the pixel being put in will be truncated to the tile, and then it will be converted back to the pixel, which means there will be some range it needs to be in. So other point will be plus v2 size hex size. So it needs to be smaller than that and bigger than minus, which will give us a bounding box, presumably. And this test is quite inaccurate because we need to, well, I guess, yeah, this is kind of inaccurate. We don't do it precisely, but to test it precisely would be to re-implement that function itself. So it's a bit tricky. Any QX GUI components, or is it just abstractions? Like I said, it's, well, we can look at the Hackets, I guess. I guess that's the best way to answer that question. What does it provide? That's a good question. reflex haskell. I think I bullied these guys into uploading to a hackage. I like to believe that because I mentioned them one time that they should do it, and then they started doing it. So yeah, so they provide this event thing, they provide this dynamic and behavior thing. This is the thing we use mostly, which just indicates that something will happen at some point. And this means you have some value, like the mouse position, for example, could be a behavior. You will always have it, but it may change over time. This is, for example, a mouse click. So you click somewhere and then you get the mouse event that you clicked, right? And then they just, for example, oh, if these two events happen at the same time, you get another event out, right? They provide like this algebra to deal with time. What we're using as well is reflex SDL, which makes it work nicely with reflex. So SDL is actually the GUI framework, but reflex is the time framework, I guess. They're neither really frameworks, but libraries. So SDL is like the GUI library and reflex is the time library. And we use them together. Because actually SDL doesn't provide you any way of dealing with time, to be honest. It just provides you with ways of drawing stuff. It's like in HTML, or like on the web, where reflex was used first, like to make JavaScript frameworks, for example. You have the DOM, so you can see SDL kind of as a replacement for the DOM. Hello, SingSong, how are you doing? If you use some streaming library instead of reflex, will you be able to achieve similar results? I mean, if some streaming library like Conduit has an implementation for SDL, then yes, but I don't see that happening. Streaming also is they solve a different problem, right? Because they basically allow you to do lazy IO, so you can get like a little sequence of data. You keep your memory low and you do something with that data process. This is not really about memory at all. This is about dealing with time, which is different. I think it's different. Tintin Tom. How are you doing, Tintin Tom? Welcome to my stream. Oh, it was like i3 blowing up. I think we fixed this property now as well, right? Compile error, yeah. Oh, you didn't like that. You didn't like that at all. You got the point v2 int and c int, and those are kind of different, but not really. I think they're the same basically. Streamly docs claim it solves this problem. What is Streamly? Never heard of it. Believe you, but I thought you meant streaming libraries like Conduit or Pipes. From Integral, I guess. From Integral. Completely different. This is kind of annoying. But it actually works. What? One of one test cases pass. Man, I hate these shitty outputs. Could you at least print and say what you're doing? What is Streamly? Well, I wouldn't call this test-driven development. I got the impression that test-driven development guys are like really strict about it, but we fixed it. Well, we fixed it. We laxed the constraint, but we had to lax the constraint because I don't know how to do it better. Yeah, this is not test-driven development at all. I'm not even pretending it is. We had some problems with the tile detection, and we knew how to write a property. We've implemented that, and it happened to all work out nicely. But normally I wouldn't write this. So let's see. Fix the quick check property. Okay, we can move on. Now we can do real things rather than fix stupid tests. No. We're gonna do real things. It'll be epic. How would you even remember? Oh, we don't quite have to remember yet. Do I want to make that right now? No, we're gonna render it differently. I thought about it hard and long. And actually, I need to maybe no. We'll fix it like this. We'll do SDL draw fill polygon. We need to fill a polygon. To draw polygons in SDL. And we got like STL graphics, right? Oh, but you may say, do we even have Haskell bindings for this? Of course we do. I don't know who is writing all these bindings, but we have a bunch of bindings for STL and graphics and stuff like that. There we go. If you go to primitive, you'll find the claim it can do FRP. Extremely Haskell. Well, do you have an STL implementation? Because I got it for Reflex for free. So, reactivity, I don't even know what it means. Interesting. A lot of text. Streamly is a framework for writing programs in a high-level declarative data flow programming paradigm. What? Writing programs in a high-level declarative data flow programming paradigm. Provides a simple API very close to Haskell standard lists. No examples. Why would you add this? No examples. Okay. No types. Well, maybe they have STL bindings, you know. I'm not gonna change, but STL data flow programming paradigm. I'm not sure what that means. Like, don't all programming include data, and it, you know, goes from one place to another place? It just doesn't seem very specific to me. But maybe you get a lot more out of that than I. Check out the link. Tutorial. I don't like tutorials. I just want to see examples. You claim to have... I don't know. I'm happy with Reflex. If you want to make a game in Streamly, go ahead. I'll stick to this. I'll stick to my known pain for now. Good evening, Regafa. How are you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, 2 days in a row streaming, man. It's a good weekend, I guess. Although I didn't stream at all like last week. Barely. I think I only did a presentation. Oh, I'm just trying to understand what Reflex does. Oh, okay. Okay, let's look at the type from whole view then to try and explain what Reflex does. There's also an STL, right? I guess the event is the most important one. We can ignore the other stuff for now. So, we start out with M of A, and then some point in the future we'll get the event with some M of A inside here. And this will allow us to do some kind of side effect in here in the event. So we can read out the data, like the mouse button event data, and put a side effect in place of that. And then we push out the side effect once we receive that event. So we begin with this thing, and then as soon as we go do a mouse click, for example, we can swap out whatever is in here with what is in here. So that's the idea. Yeah, and you know, you could also have that return thing, but we're not even using that. We're just using the M. What is STL? Okay, so STL. You see window popping up here, right? This window is being drawn by a thing called STL, which is a layer on top of, well, it's actually a layer on top of many things, but it basically allows you to draw pixels to a screen. That's what it does. And it also allows you to play sounds, and yeah, so what is it? It's a layer, it's like it's a C library, to be honest. And we are using Haskell bindings to interact with C library to draw pixels. You mean you merge the result? Oh, so like the other thing is we get, for example, mouse click from STL as well. But what Reflex does, it's like wrapping it in an event, so we don't have to deal with time ourselves. You mean you can merge the result of these two things in some way? It's not about merging, it's swapping out. So we start with this thing because we haven't received the event yet, so we have to start somewhere, right? Which will be this side effect, this M. So maybe like an IO. Imagine this to, for example, draw some pixels. I don't know, draw a banana, and then this is like an event of drawing strawberries. So we started with a banana, and then we get the event, like because of the mouse click, and we replaced the banana with a strawberry. So we're drawing strawberry on screen, and that's how we can deal with time. I'm imagining a burrito. The burrito also works, you know, it's an M, so it can be anything you want, or anything you don't want. I wouldn't recommend imagining things you don't want, but you could, you know. Right, this is how we filter out left click. We also need to filter out up, I guess, otherwise we do twice. But that's fine, we can have bugs. So here we're getting the tile if you have a tile, we have to do something different. Right, what do we have to do different? We need to fill polygon. That's our goal. How do we get a polygon? Right, we need to go to STL-GFX. STL-GFX. So this is the draw pixels on screen library. And we need to have it for Haskell, because we can't use C directly. We need to have types, which has the primitive. Polygon, color renderer. We have all these things. We can all do all these things. Right, now we need to reimagine how hexagons are drawn. Oh, Argus Tangeti. How are you doing? Any new people today? What is that emoji? Arxa7. Where are we even drawing? Well, you know what I'm doing? I know what I'm doing. So this is for the label. Oh, interesting. And then we're using just draw lines in which we put points. Fill polygon. So what do you have here? The same as polygon, but is filled a given color. Given its edges of a given color. Drawn anti-aliased. To think of burritos. Yeah, aren't we all burrito vendors at this point? I don't know why would it be a tradition. Bananas. We need to have a different representation of points. Where do we get points from? Also, we have it bugged, by the way. Where do you get points from? What? Raw lines are points. Remember, oh, it's here. It's here. Calc points. But if we're going to use this library, we need to have it a bit different shape. Rather than point v2cint, we need to have vector. What the fuck is a vector? Oh, it's just vector. Okay. Oh, it's this vector. Okay, so we can remove all this stuff and just return a tuple of points. And then we want to have a setting indicating if it's filled or not. How do we know color as well? Let's also add hexagon color and hexagon barbed wire. That's like a really old paper though. It's banana barbed wire paper, banana lenses, envelopes. Where did we talk about this? I've never actually read this one. We develop a calculus for lazy functional programming based on the recursion operators. Oh, this is where they start recursion schemes. Is this one? We develop functional programming based on recursion associated with data type definitions. We derive various algebraic laws that are useful to deriving manipulated programs. Just show that all example functions in Bert Walder's introduction of functional programming can be expressed using these operators. Yeah, these are recursion schemes. Okay, let's not deal with recursion schemes at all, because that's too abstract for me. I'm also not sure why you would do this. I mean, I guess it's nice to have the algebra so you can quick check stuff. It's a good reason. Too big brain, I know. Yeah, 6 hat. Too big. Okay, we got color. The other thing we need to have is not renderer. We already had that. Oh, we need to have we need to decide if we want to fill or not. So we'll make another. I guess we can just do isFilled as a boolean. I think this is fine. Hexagon is filled. Maybe some optimizations, and you can apply more laws to your code and see some things more easily, I guess. Yeah, maybe it, you know, we can use. Can I format a region? Format all buffer. How about not format all buffer, but format all? No, you can't format all region. That would be great, but you can't. You know, we are not like the other programmers who live by tradition. We are governed by law. Guess so. Well, just asked the other day, why do we have laws? Well, we have laws because our type system is too incomplete. Right? I'm gonna get a drink. Be right back. Okay, let's see. What are we even doing? Oh, right, we're making the polygon thing. So, which allows us to fill. And there's a reason I don't want to do this by hand, because it'll be it's quite hard to fill something. So it's easier if you just can, you know, use some library. Well, why would you ever think, you know, you can just use someone else's stuff? Isn't that great? I used to have opinions, but then other people gave me opinions to follow. Now I don't have to think anymore. Okay, so we need to think a little bit though, because our cog point function is completely wrong right now. We should have a vector of int16 and vector of int16. What's the difference between a cint and an int16? 16-bit signed integer. What's a cint in Haskell? I thought it was 32-bit. 16 seems too little. Yeah. Yes, they went to the trouble of quick checking and figuring out why things should be in bounds or not. Yeah, it's 32-bit. But I also believe that int 32-bit is actually the same thing as int you are, aren't you? That's so upsetting. That's so upsetting. It's the same thing as int. So they add all these type jumbo mumbo to upset me. You know why they did 16-bit int? Because now you can put your entire point into a single number. Isn't that great? You save so much memory. Oh my god. You can do bit magic. We're not gonna do any bit magic. That's for the other stream. But yeah. So let's see. Where's that library? I lost it again. Or maybe I clicked away from that. No. This one. Yeah. So you could have a single sector of vector int 32, the default int size, and then split it out with bit magic. But we're not gonna do that. It's too difficult. Cint takes the same amount of bytes as int. If you have 64-bit int, it's the same as int64. Haskell, but int is the same as int64 in Haskell. That's because word is unsigned. You don't want to have signed for byte string, I guess. Int is the same as int64 in Haskell. Really? I wouldn't have thought that. Or maybe they use, I thought it was int 32, because in C, the default is 32. I think. I'm not sure about that. That's something I would test. It does matter because I need to provide in 16s. That's why I'm even talking about it. Yeah. We can keep this function the same. That's okay. But we can't keep this function the same. You need to change a little bit. We're gonna use our new rendering backend. Something in me keeps shouting like, oh, Yappy, be careful, because... seems right. Yappy, be careful because... Oh, you don't know about color. That's annoying. Let's actually comment this stuff out for now. And see if that fixes the bug we had before. Be careful because I'm not sure if this is actually working. But then again, we can just use git to go back, right? So now these edges are also drawn. They weren't drawn before. I can show that. If we don't do that append min bound, which is the final thing to go to, it doesn't draw that yet. But I think the default behavior in Polygon is to fill up to the from the first to the final point anyway. So we may as well keep it like this and see if it actually does that, because that's quite important behavior to have. I would expect a polygon to fill this up. So let's not do this yet. We remind ourselves. So to do make sure the polygon fills in the final edge between max bound min bound. So max bound min bound is top point to top right point. You can read signed unsigned character. You know they have char in C, but they also have unsigned char, and they use those for the same thing, but to be interpreted as character. I didn't know there was an unsigned char. I would assume all characters are unsigned, right? What are we doing? Alright, we're playing with this. What did you know about color? What is color even, according to that library? V8 word. This is from STL primitive, also in graphics library. So we probably should import this module here then. And fix all the compile errors. You don't even know about it. How annoying. I wonder why it would sometimes tell me which library to use, and some other times it doesn't have any idea. Changed on disk, re-added the buffer. No, I want you to reload. STL to graphics, and then this only changes their interpretation as numbers. Okay, that's so useful, right? Because they don't have like names like Word, I guess. They use like character 48-bit stuff. No stack. I don't think I've ever used stack. I used it in the beginning, to be honest, and then we decided to just abandon it at my first job. This cable is good enough, and we already were like deep into Nix, so yeah, that's a problem. I think it tells you if it's a hidden package. Oh, okay. Thanks for telling me, Argus Tangenti. So hidden package means some library has already dependent on it, but we just have not dependent on it directly. So it's like a dependency of a dependency, and then it can figure it out. But in this case, it couldn't figure it out because, yeah, we need to clean. Texture, polygon, RGBA. Define symbol, texture, polygon, RGBA, which is required by test unit. Low learning curve, unlike Haskell itself. No, don't bother. I mean, if you have no aspiration to actually ship anything yourself, then I don't think it's a good investment of time. But I am shipping things myself, like cut the crap. So yeah, it actually helped a lot. And also to keep projects working in future. So make big project and have it built in 2 years. Great. But I don't know why this is failing. Undefined symbol. Make HPack. Build a project in a few years. Yeah, but they're not gonna build. They're not gonna build, you know, GCC, or they're not gonna build STL. They're only gonna build the Haskell stuff, which is not quite good enough for me. I want to build everything. Be able to build everything. So we are STL graphics 2. There's only version 2. You better make version 2 work and like it. 4 years ago. He probably didn't do a release, did he? Okay. This is uploaded in 2016. This patch was made in 2018. So it's safe to assume this library is a bit harder than what it claims to be on Hackage. So we're gonna overwrite that. Like that. And then we're gonna use it in our shell. STL2 graphics, which should fix everything, presumably. Is it a good idea to use Nixos on your work machine? Why not? I've not had any issues with work-related stuff, at least. I'm choosing between it and Arch Linux for my next machine. No, for work I've not had any issues. Is it a good game machine? No, it's not a good game machine. But why are you even asking for this, man? Define symbol, texture, polygon, RGBA, which is required by Exa. What? Is this because I added that dependency, isn't it? So if we remove the dependency, it should build again. I need to also remove it here. Or is it some cable bullshit not working? Yeah, okay, this is quite problematic then. It is this dependency somehow breaking GHC build. I don't know how. Okay, I kind of forgot that this is also a bit makeshift. Make it work together somehow. Yeah, so we need to run make HPack again, and then Nix shell. We're running Nixos. I meant as a development machine. Yes, but like I'm not sure what you need to do for work. You know, like my company is quite big on Nix. Well, so and again, I also do various contract works on this machine, and it all works out usually. You can just try it out, and if you don't like it, you can still go to Arch, right? It's not the end of the world. Define symbol, texture, polygon, RGBA. You know what? I bet this library STL2 graphics is somehow depending on that with like FFI. So if we just delete that from this repository, it'll be fine. Texture. Okay, let's just clone the entire thing then. See if we can find a rip grab. What do you don't like about Debian? Rather than asking me if it's good to work, maybe we should ask first, what are your issues even you're having? And then I can tell you if Nix can help you or not, because it's not for everyone, you know. There we go, primitive. So what about we, okay, this is gonna be a little bit unorthodox, but trust me, it all works out in the end. Okay, don't get too upset for now. We're just gonna casually delete. Actually, we need to have texture, polygon, RGBA. Yes. Well, maybe we don't need this one. Maybe we can just, you know, nudge it, and everything is all right. Okay. So how are we gonna build this? You might say like, oh, it's Cabal, it should be super easy to build. I'm not gonna do any of that. No. We're gonna kind of overwrite our Nix thing in the game. So we got game 12, and then we got SDL graphics, blah. We got this source path, right? We can just sort of delete this, and then go back once more, and then we go SDL2 graphics. And then we enter. We try to enter the next shell again. And now it's gonna build that other project because we told it it's there, and it doesn't have that function anymore. Oh, all right. You're still exporting that. We can solve your woes primitive. We're just not gonna export it anymore. Texture polygon. There you go. It may have been renamed or something. Who the hell knows? Like library maintainers love to rename their shit and break everything. It's like one of their favorite part-time hobbies. So with that out of our way, this is, by the way, why I don't think that's type checked or whatever. So it's just we pretend it exists in C and then it somehow exists in C. So this is how we need to fix that problem. Currently, it's easy to corrupt state of packages. Hard to obtain new versions safely. Or let's some project needs an older version of a package which is deprecated. No way to get a package like that in Debian. Yes, you would love Nix because it allows you to easily overwrite versions. Definitely. If that's your problem you're trying to solve, then I can recommend it. I'm not sure how good Arch is for that either. I suspect you would need to do a lot of things manually in Arch to get older versions and stuff. If you're handy with it, it can also be good, but I don't think it scales, you know. I like my Nix setup because it allows me to get lots of not default behavior. So I can choose exactly how my system behaves and kind of keep it around. Well, but package system looks simpler in Arch. Maybe I can figure it out. Yeah, maybe. What Arch does, it does it like every other Linux distribution. So it just has like big bag of state everywhere. And if you're happy with that, then yeah, keep on going, right? Do we fix it? Undefined symbol. Roto zoom size. Roto. Are we going to do this one by one, or what is this? Roto zoom size. Well, I bet this one is also deleted, huh? But it's a Haskell function. This doesn't make any sense. Why would it not exist? What? Undefined symbol, roto zoom size. But this is a Cabal problem. Roto zoom size. Roto zoom. Oh, it is here. It's in. That's weird. It's in raw. You got the Haskell implementation as well? That's so weird. I think we can even look up what happened to these functions and just rename them. Roto zoom size. Zoom. I bet if we Google it, roto zoom size. It just doesn't exist. Well, I guess we'll keep on patching that library until it works. Hope we don't need that. So the way to build it is to re-enter the shell again, and we have to rebuild the entire library because the inputs have changed. So yeah, so you can have safely possible incompatible sets of packages in Nixos easily. Yes, Debian aped thing is more convoluted in this regard. So I see the problem. We need to tell you it doesn't exist anymore because you're actually using that raw thing. It's okay. I don't think we need it anyway. It's not a great function, you know? We also need to delete it there. That would be cool. I don't know how often you would need that, but you can. Doing this, what I'm doing right now, it's not... you don't need Nixos for this kind of stuff, right? Nix can infect every other Linux distribution as well, so it's optional. Undefined symbol, zoom size. Okay. We'll delete this stuff as well. I mean, I guess we won't have any library left after we're done with this. Just keeps on not finding. Recompile the entire library again. At some point it will work. I guess we could also make a PR. Say, hey, sorry, this shit doesn't work anymore. Please delete it. Alright. Got to delete it from here. So do you run Nixos on production machines? Yes, many. Well, at work we're using 3 Nixos machines. And I have my own Hetzner machine and also another one I'm gonna truncate later because I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna put everything on the Hetzner. Not a scope, zoom. Okay, what? Go to zoom. What did I delete? I forgot what I did. Not a scope, zoom, zoom size. Because the error was you can't find zoom size. So we deleted both zoom and zoom size. Maybe it's just zoom size we need to delete. Maybe it's not zoom. Yeah, let's just delete zoom size. What are the benefits of doing production machine for Nix? A good question. Well, you'll get reproducible builds. So the thing you're building in CI is exactly the same as you're running in production. And you can also build it locally. So that's like a great property to have. You also get like rollback, so in case something goes horribly wrong, you can use Nixops to roll back to the previous version, which is also fantastic. Like in case of DevOps, you at least make sure that all your configuration is recorded in code, because everything is so strict and like it's reproducible first, right? So all the changes you made to the production machine are tracked in code. There's no way around that, to be honest. It's like really difficult to go around that. So it's also really good, right? You make sure that all these changes are visible to other developers, to code review. Yeah. So I think like Nix really shines for production machines. That's like a really good thing to do. This is a quite slow process, to be honest, testing this. I'm not really sure why it can't find it. Like it builds it here, right? So you would say that it should type check that as well against the library to make sure it exists. But apparently it doesn't. And we're only finding that out after we're building an executable, which is just such a slow process. Because now we need to build it like this. And define image filter left unit. Damn it. It's just like something getting deleted there, something getting deleted over here. It's crazy. What is it called? Okay, let's speed up this process. This is a bit slow. So we go to yeah, where do we go? We go to no. What was that thing called? STL graphics. STL graphics. Cable to Nix. Shell. Shell.nix. Nix shell. I bet it's like just stuff being deprecated in STL. That is. I'm in a shell, right? You failed. What? Build input libgl vnd does not exist. Why are we getting that issue here if we're going into this shell? But we don't have that issue here. What's going on? Oh, maybe we solved it in here somehow. Not in this shell. What am I talking about? Why do we have that issue? Why don't we have that issue in let's look at this one and at our game. Nice ASCII art. Good teaching is 1/4 preparation and 3/4 good theater. It is infotainment, right? I think Nix is C++. What does that mean? In which language is it written? Yeah, it is C++, I believe. It's not written in Haskell. Definitely not. There are some libraries that allow you to parse Nix, but that's about it. What was I looking for? All right, how do we even do this? Yeah, we don't have a package yet, do we? No, we don't. Package shell, reflex STL. No. So why can't we find that one library in here if we try to... I guess we can't speed up this process, unfortunately, because I don't know how to enter the shell. Because libglvnd is gone from this particular one. Maybe if we don't use this one, but we import the pin from our main project. Oh my god, this is going crazy. Everything is like wrong. We'll just use this pin. Don't worry about it. This is normal. Please look away. So nix pin.nix. So we're importing a pin from another project to make sure the shell is the same, and then everything should be fine. No, you still don't know about it. I'm trying to locate my. it just keeps on getting worse. But it says about VND, but it's not even asking it for as an input. Build input libglvnd dev not found. You're not even asking for libglvnd. How did we figure that out in this case? I don't get it. STL2, it's there. STM, monad control, template Haskell. Oh, there's more stuff. Oh, there's capital letter STL as well, which is completely different from small letter STL. And then there is STL graphics. Okay. What if we just start deleting of these arguments or something? I don't know. Package config defense STL. But I would say that's small letter STL, right? You're not depending on capital letter STL. How are you doing that then? Reflex STL. Package config depends. You know what? I bet what it is. They are not having any package config because they are depending on reflex. No, they're depending on STL, which does it for them. So instead of going to reflex STL, we have to go to STL, which is something else, which is the drop pixel to screen library. And this doesn't have any docs, but that's fine. And then you have package config depends. Package, which is STL with small letters. I don't get it. It has to be bigger than 2.6. Let's just fix up this stupid Kabul module, you know? It is with small letters. What the hell? And why are you with big letters? No. What? You don't know about it with small letters. It has to be big letters. Okay. What about making this big letters as well? libglvnd. Maybe we just need to add it. Can I just do that? Oh, it's comma separated list. Download of dot was interrupted. glvnd. Okay, let's not try to make this build faster. I have no idea why that's not working. Maybe that's the root of our problem, that we can't find libglvnd, and then it can't find any of those modules. Maybe I can find it in Nixos package search, you know. libglvnd. The name. The GL vendor neutral dispatch library. What? Tell me, Pretz, what is a GL vendor neutral dispatch library? What the? You seem to be really good with jargon. So, I broke it somehow. What did I do? Only good if it's in Haskell. Okay. doesn't make any sense to me. So, I bet what happened is that the SDL people are deprecating certain functions and then deleting them from the library, and then our Cabal program cannot find these functions from library, so it will refuse to build. So the way to solve this kind of error is just to delete the function, and then we'll make a pull request soon to fix it. But this doesn't work either, you know. Image filter 131, because it's all random. Oh, it's the wrong file. We need to go here. 131. Image filter left unit. SDL image filter left. Wait, it's not even exported, I think. It's not even exported. Why would you even add it? Well, I guess you can enter the shell again. Maybe it was generated or something. Shift left unit. U unsigned int. Fat chance that shift right U int also needs to be deleted. Man, I thought this would be easy. Shift left. Right, we need to delete this entire function from image filter. His last words. Yeah, it's not easy at all. It's just because this library is so it just refuses to build. It resists me at every point on the way. Most functions appear to work though. I think we already have a couple modules done, so that's good. Although maybe this doesn't even work per module, you know. It could just be arbitrary order because that's the order it encountered it in the code. So it may be that there are actually like hundreds of functions being deprecated and we don't even know how far we are in the process. So that's, you know, that's not that's kind of depressing to think about. But I like to think there's some kind of order going on here, and we're fixing it module by module. Image filter left byte. Image filter left byte. That will be image left byte. The only left byte function we can find. So we'll delete that. And then we go to that other module. Delete the left byte here as well. We'll enter the Nix shell again. I'm just the error ups are already completely in place to do this. Yeah, another stream into a Nix hell. Isn't that great? Like, if you want to do anything, I guess it's just Nix. It's not even Nix in this case. It's like linking to some C library that's changed over time. I wouldn't expect it to change this much. Maybe we're actually having some kind of weird linking issue and we're solving it in a really poor manner. No, we fixed it. What? Okay, that fixes it. These changes they fixed. Okay, well I guess we'll upstream this. This seems so dubious. We just had to delete a bunch of random functions and everything works. Did we even import that module then? Oh, I'm in the wrong project. So don't go there. Game 12. We're importing SDL primitive. It's strange, it only wanted to delete the left shift and it doesn't care about the right shift. Oh yeah, it's all very dubious to me. What are we gonna do first now then? I think we want to upstream this first. Well, I'm not convinced about this yet, so I don't want to make a PR or anything, but I'm gonna put this, push this to my GitHub, and then we can depend on that GitHub, so other people can use this as well. Not that anyone does, you know, but I like the idea of it having being potentially possible. So make a new repo. Oh no, we'll just fork the STL one, I guess. So STL haskell graphics. Git remote at no, I want to fork it, right? I want to copy that, fork it. You know, there were actually a bunch of forks. Maybe one of these already fixed those issues. I didn't see any pull requests, so maybe they were thinking the same thing as me. It seems a bit crazy to delete all this stuff to just make it build, right? Why don't I get any? Oh, it's this thing probably. No, ad blocker is thinking it should block this stuff. There's no time. God damn it. just go through all of them. That's 2 years ago. Not interesting. 2 years ago. Not interesting. Oh, update stuff. What did he do? Change resolver. Window check. He actually worked on it quite recently, but didn't bother to make a PR. Did readme. Oh, he added a stack. Good for you. Or maybe he wanted to make a PR, but didn't get to it or whatever. I guess they didn't have the same issues as I. So this is in December. Oh, that's weird. Who was that? I forgot. Maybe him. Yeah, he actually worked on this library. Made some changes. But I doubt he actually used it because it doesn't appear that he had the same issues as we had. So I guess we're on our own. You know, which crazy people would use SDL and Haskell? We will. So we'll add a remote git remote v git remote set origin git remote set URL origin to that. We'll push it. Would use anything in Haskell. Yes. A special kind of crazy, right? Why would you do that to yourself? Then again, like we're getting stuff done, you know. We figured it out. Delete functions that can't be found in STL graphics origin. We're getting there, yes. Well, we're getting there slowly. But the reason I'm pushing this to GitHub is that we now can run Kabel to Nix on this repository on my fork, which fixes it to work. So we no longer need in the Nix file. Which one? We modified some file, right? Blah, 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 blah. We modified this, not this one. We modified this one on my local file path. But if we do that, then you all can't use this game because that code doesn't exist on your machine. So I'll make it work with the GitHub instead. So I'll overwrite STL2 Kabel to Nix. I was a bit confused there. Why doesn't it autocomplete for me? I lost the remote. Read over again. STL2. Okay, I guess that doesn't work in general. You just have to type. Yes, there we go. So now if we go into the shell, it will actually download it to the Nix repository, put it into the cache, and then we can use it. There. Right. I need to copy over this one instead, of course, because otherwise it would need SSH keys. And it doesn't have SSH keys because it's Nix, so it can't be reproducible with SSH keys. So yeah, do it like that. Do it like that instead. So now it works. We need to build it again because the build input has changed again because now it's from a different location. Therefore, it needs to do a rebuild because, you know, we need to be reproducible. It's from a different location, therefore it should be different build. Yes. I don't know if that works like that, but I'm pretty sure we also changed the folder itself. We're getting there. We're really getting there. I promise. Okay. I need to get some water. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay, I'm ready. We're gonna do it. What are we even doing? Yeah, show the select a tile on screen. That's right, we're doing that one simple task. Why does it become so complicated? What did we do to ourselves? But it's building again. It's building again. We have the library now, so we can try using that function, I guess. Jesus Christ. You can see we're struggling because we have a bunch of tabs open. Yeah, we're struggling. But now I can use this function. Finally, this function actually doing all this busy work. It's still easier than implementing this yourself. These are hard functions to do. Okay, so we saved ourselves time, even though it seemed like a complete yak shave. We don't need to be here anymore. Oh, we do need to be here anymore. We need to be in hexagon again. Right. And now we need to change calc points to... You want to have 2 factors of int16. So we'll promise you we're gonna give you that. What is s? Storable. Oh, what is storable? Storable based vectors. The member functions of this class facilitate writing values of primitive types to raw memory. What? That sounds really unsafe. Which may have been allocated with the above mentioned routines. The member functions of this class facilitate writing values of primitive types into raw memory, and reading values from blocks of raw memory. The class furthermore includes support for computing the storage requirement and alignment redirections of storable types. Oh, we used these before, actually. This is so annoying to do. I'm having flashbacks to linking to that other FFI library thing. I think that's lost in time, unfortunately, those streams. But in Cut the Crap, there's this feature where it does speech recognition with a seed library. You need to have a couple of these. Actually make a data maybe out of this. Or would it be slower? X's, Y's. Well, they don't require a data. Why would we? You know, we need to calculate the X points and calculate the Y point. And we need to do it in one go anyway. Smooth polygon. Render transport edges to given color. The input vectors containing points location of the x-axis and y-axis respectively. So position 0 will be 0x, 0y, 1x, 1y. That's how I'm reading that. Could be different, but that's what I understand from it. Store them in a compact way, kind of like unboxed with no pointers. Oh, it's like a chain in D. That's cool. So we got like some kind of list, and then we need to not do as from list. Would be wrong. We need to unzip. Is there a function called unzip in Haskell? Would be great. Unzip. That's what I want. More stream. Hey, welcome Skybro. How are you doing? We yeah, actually I've been streaming for a while at this point. Almost 2 hours. But we had some small issues with the GFX library in SDL. In fact, if you look at this commit, it's yeah, we spent a long time just figuring out how the thing works. There were a bunch of functions that actually don't exist anymore, and I was complaining about it in Kabul. So we deleted all of those, and now it works. All of this stuff, delete. So yeah, it's very efficient debugging. Wait, you started early? Well, I was like, okay, I don't really have anything to do anymore. All my chores I already did yesterday, so might as well start, right? And I was kind of in the mood to do this as well. Oh, you got Bob Ross. Wow. How did you get Bob Ross? I want to have Bob Ross. Is it a global one? Cool story, Bob. I got it as well. Not from this stream. Hey, I got 3 points now. Yesterday, maybe just James actually subscribed for tier 2 sub. It's amazing. Sub for 10 years. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about maybe making some more better rewards for subs, because I have like little control over the emotes, but I can like do some other things maybe. Suggestions are welcome. I have no idea what to do, but I was thinking about it. Hello people. Hello Kantoran, how are you doing? Oh, everyone is here. I'm more interested in this one. It looks cool. Yappy Ree. Yeah. The problem is I don't have any control over the emotes. Like I can't make any more unless there will be more subs. So yeah. Saving the no, don't do that. Don't sub. Let's what Haskell. Oh, we're saving a plan. We're not saving a plan. Skybro with his emotes. What would you even do with it, you know? We need to unzip. Hey, I like the S from list, but we need to have 2. So we get pointy to hex, corner all corners, which is okay, because this is basically what we want. So this is the points. There we go. And then express myself. Good point. Yeah. Good points. Ha ha ha. We still do that, right? But now we do the magic, the trick. We want to get X, view X, but we also want to unwrap the point. So point. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably give us a nice type error to decode. And the same for Y. We need to do the thing. Which thing? Sarah is casually sitting there, being interrupted. What are you guys talking about? New build. So yeah, you can see we had a bit of a struggle before, considering the amount of tabs open. But it's all solved now, so we can safely close the browser. There we go. Isn't that a nice feeling? To close that browser after so much struggle. Yeah, it is indeed. Not in scope, int 16. Oh, but then you probably don't know about data int. It's the most exciting module in the whole universe. It allows us to give numbers to int. Couldn't match type C int with int 16. Clearly different from each other, right? From integral to from integral. Which may potentially trash some information, but that's fine as well. We don't worry about these mundane things. Could it match extract? Oh right, we're still using draw lines. We're not going to use draw lines anymore. We're free of lines now. How does it even know which color we are, by the way? Draw lines. Oh, we're doing it like that. Right. Some color. Yeah, you're the default color now, by the way. So def hex, which has some color. Hexagon color. We need to overwrite this one anyway, so that's why I'm going through this trouble of figuring out colors. There we go. I should use a browser without tabs. You have one? Coolest module in history. What? I'm trying to use no more than 9 tabs because they are all accessible with Alt 1 through 9. I configured my window manager to be like that. So I can access different windows with Alt 1 through 9. And then I can also make tabs in my window manager. And then I can also make tabs in my browser. So things can get like a little bit nested because, you know, we can jump to a different window like that. And, you know, we can have all these tabs here and we can have all these tabs there, and it just gets crazy. What window manager is that? That is IE3. It's not even, these days I don't think IE3 is anything special anymore. Yeah, IE3 really, yeah, so actually Skybro is a real expert on window managers. He knows way more about that than I do. There is this annual event called Advent of Code. Not sure if you heard of it. Will you be streaming it? I'm thinking of going crazy with type for Advent of Code, but I'm not sure about that. Because I read this thing called defunctionalization, which allows you to basically, for example, also encode bind at type level. So you can do monadic operations at type level. That sounded kind of interesting. And then, you know, you can use that singleton magics, which I'm probably not going to use, but, you know, singletons allow you to lift your values to type level. And then you just do everything at type level. That was my idea. But like the way I'm seeing it is probably doing it for 1 or 2 days and then just giving up, because I don't think I can do it for 30 days. That's too crazy. How many days is it? Like 20? It's way too many. There's no way I can do that. I feel overworked with my 2-day stream. 2 days after each other. So you can have type level programmable semicolons. Exactly. And it's becoming really crazy in that well, the polymorphism doesn't work as well, I guess, but you could then also, you know, make your transformer stack at type level. So you can do like MTL at type level. And I think people will get kind of upset if you start thinking about that. But You know, I just saw it being casually mentioned in the book Thinking with Types. And I even asked Chiroptical about this, and he was like not sure about it. He must have read over it or something. But it's clearly saying you can do bind like this. And I was like, ah, I found it. You can totally do this. So yeah, I want to go bananas with types. We'll have the book Thinking with Types next to us, and we can figure everything out. Stack of program. Okay, we got it. Hey, don't you know about transformers? Did you miss my presentation? We talked about it. So you can have like for example, you know how either is also a monad, and you have like logging. For example, the writer, you can like send stuff to it, and then you can like combine the two, right? With like some trickery. So that's the idea of transformer stacks. You combine monads, and you can choose them with lift. And I only know how they work, right? I mean how I use them. I don't know how they work. I've only ever used them. I never made a transformer myself ever. I just don't care enough. Same with reflex. I have no idea how any of this works. SDL, why would you figure it out, right? They provide the abstraction for me. Writer is accumulation, not logging, right? What is logging but accumulation? I mean, these things are actually different. Well, you know, you accumulate this shit and then you send it somewhere where it could be used for logging. You don't have to do it, although you don't have to do challenges the day they are released. You can do the first day. Okay, so we can do it like over the entire year. We do like one advent of code per month or so. Oh no, then we even have to few months. We do one advent of code per week. Because I think if we're gonna go bananas with types, then they're like, I could not keep that up, you know. It's fun to do, but I bet we'll get stuck on the first exercise, and it just takes so long to figure it out. Because remember last time when we did like type level stuff, we did like the type level translation, and it just took like 5 or 6 streams, and we still couldn't figure it out, and it was crazy. It was fun though, but yeah, I never rushed AOC. Still thinking you're saying Age of Conquerors there, so Age of Empires. Well, how can you output logs if you have IO only writer? You have no IO only writer. Well, you can choose, right? You can choose later on in your program how to output it. That's like kind of the trick behind that. So in the writer monad, you haven't decided yet how are you going to output these logs, but then in your main function, you can decide to write it to a database, or you can write it to a file. You can choose. But what you can also do is like write tests against the choice you made. So you can test for your logging. I don't know how useful that is for anyone, but you can do it. Reflex. SDL. What am I looking for? I wanna get that polygon function, but I closed the tabs because that felt good. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Thank you, Google. SDL GFX. We deleted most of these functions. We deleted a bunch of them, but we got fill polygon, which we need, or polygon, I guess. We can choose. So after you accumulated the things, the thing you want to do IO with, yeah, it doesn't work for a web server, I guess. You need to use a different trick because it just blocks, right? But that's the idea. If web server, yeah, why would you even make a web server, right? What would you even do with that? It's not so boring. Don't everyone make web servers these days? Settings. What am I doing? What's going on, man? We need to copy this because I can't write. And now we need to paste it here. And then we're going to choose which function we want to have. So if you are true, hexagon is filled, then we're going to fill a polygon. Otherwise, we're going to just do a polygon. And then this is polygon F. But you can even be in the where block. Isn't that great to be in a where block? Everyone wants to be in a where block. At least where I come from. How would you decide color? Oh, that's the final argument. That's how annoying. So draw lines. Where's points? Oh, there's points. So this is x points, y points. And then we put x points in here and we put y points in there. And then everything works out. So instead of draw a line, we do r x points, y points, and then color, settings. And like I'm copy pasting again because I can't write. So color, there. What are you all talking about? I'm gonna play something. See you later, Star. Thanks for watching. Real world things. I only write FizzBuzz. Wow, you must be so employed. You must have like 2 or 3 jobs at this point because you can do FizzBuzz. I have a PhD in Twitch. Yeah, the Skybro is he's very strong with his some color. No, not some color. Oh right, the color from the font. We should probably also we should make something else maybe for the font color. But for now you can also be hexagon color. It was already like that before, right? We just made it configurable. Ambiguous type variable f0 arising from the use of point from y right, because we need to flip point, I think. Same for this one. How great is that? Okay. Maybe we need to do endpoint. Because you're an ISO, probably. No. Maybe repoint? I don't know how to get rid of that point. Stupid point, go out of my way. Nobody likes you. So we first get out the point, then we get out the x, and then we go to from integral. What's wrong with this? You know what we need to add? We need to add a type signature somewhere at some point. But at this point, like, it's the same. Point, you are a loser. You have no friends. What? Compiled driven development. Yeah, that's like my only way of development. I don't know if you've noticed, but don't you just work? We want to get rid of the point. I used it before as review, right? Yeah, I did. Look here, this is review. What's the opposite of review? View. Well, not really, but you know, it's similar things. How are you packed? You are packed in a point v2. When this coercive thing? I mean, coerce. Too coerce. You know, we're just gonna do that. How neat. And then we're gonna do that. And then we don't even need any brackets. And it will be amazing. There'll be cookies as well. We're gonna coerce. We're gonna feel x, we're gonna feel y, and we're gonna do from integral to cast it to int16. Because it's a C in now. And it's being put in a tuple as well, sneakily. Beautiful. What is this thing? This is a review, not that one. So this is how you put something in a constructor in a very obfuscated way. In fact, this way is the same as this. I didn't know this constructor before. It's probably better to write it like this. Although, you know, it lacks words. We have words like that. But yeah, that's like the optics way of putting something in a constructor. But you could also coerce it, I guess. In fact, we maybe even just gonna coerce everything. Coercible. Data coerce. Maybe I didn't mean that. We couldn't match representation of v2. Put that off. Maybe we can just view it. I don't know. It works! What? It just magically disappears, the point. But we had a point here. What does this even do? I'm so confused. What's going on? We have missing fields. So by default, are you filled? By default, you are not filled. Does this affect strictness or something? No, it's just using the prism to build it. So, did I make a prism point somewhere or? No, they already provided it for me. Okay. Reflex, STL, haskell. I think they may have provided it for me. Wait, let me look for it. It's way more clear with a type signature, of course. Yes, they did. Oh, it's from Reflex STL even. Like, I guess these guys are big on optics. So, oh, it's an ISO. There you go. Isn't that a strong thing? And so if we go to the little lens hierarchy, contents, little lens hierarchy. You got equality here, meaning that two types are the same thing. And you got ISO, which is sort of the same thing. It's like a new type, you know. You can put it in and put it out of the thing. And you got lenses, which are like fields on the record. And then you got prisms, which are the constructors on the record, sort of. And if you have a constructor on a record, then of course you can put things in that record. And if you have fields on a record, then you can pull things out of that record from that field. So, and if you combine these things together, you get a traversal. And that's how you read this entire diagram. You can use ISO as a lens or prism. Yeah, you can use ISO as both because it's stronger. It's a stronger relationship. You can use an ISO to construct and destruct. It means that the record, the amount of records is 1. The amount of fields in the record is 1, I think. Yeah, that's how I interpret it. But it could also be other things, ISO. We have another example. For example, you can say that number and characters are ISO of bounded size at least. Because you can change the character into a number and you can change it back to it. If they are at least of UTF-8 size space of numbers, then you can do that. I'm not sure how big UTF-8 is. Maybe it's like, I don't think it's word 8. It's like 4 8s or something. Each word 8s? I don't know. Lenses are for product records. Prisms are for several constructors. Yes, you got it. Sort of. Yes, that's a good way of thinking about it. The import of words is redundant. That's good. We don't want to deal with words. The import of coerce is redundant. That's also good because we don't want to deal with representable at all. I again have a need to use representable, and I like to keep it that way. You know, there's an entire system built around coerce that's different from the type system. It's called the representable system, and it's not that different. Well, it's different from the type system, so you know it's a new thing. You probably don't want to know about it. You don't want to know about it at all. Does it work? We don't even know if this library works. We spent so much effort into it, and it looks like it's working. Oh, and the other question is, yes, look, it's actually filling the entire polygon. So our bug is fixed the other way around by using that polygon function. Okay, let's figure out how to select something then. Finally, we can fill the polygon. We haven't done any of these things. 2.5 hours later, but I feel we have progress. Now let's make a commit. Use polygon function from SDLGFX library. Wasn't that easy? It was super easy. Okay, we're still not done with this module, I guess. We're kind of done with this module. Yeah, we are. We are done with this module, finally. Yeah, we are. So I want to customize you for a little bit. I want to set selected. Tile, tile, tile. I guess maybe. Let's make it the dumbest way possible. So nothing is it. And just T. X is X. Hexagon color. We want to change the color for a little bit as well, I guess. Oh, this is tile. we want to make we don't want to make a tile. We want to make a hexagon, so we need to render it as well. Okay, I see. This is a bit difficult, more difficult than I thought initially. I'm thinking on the other hand, like we don't even have to make this a maybe. We can make sure this tile always exists. Yeah, let's do that instead. Render with tile. That's a bit better. We'll call you render. Render. So this is a selected tile. Oh no, I wanna make this thing maybe, but we'll deal with it outside. Yeah, we'll deal with it outside. That's fine. And then this will be tile settings. You are talking to your Haskell functions. Don't you talk to your Haskell functions? Am I talking to my Haskell functions? Probably. Oh, it's hexagon settings. I'm like just thinking aloud, so you can hear what I'm. Well, you can experience my thoughts, I guess. No, I don't talk. In general, you don't talk. Okay. It's just a stoic attitude, I guess. We're gonna set you a color if you're selected. What are you gonna be if you're selected? Let's make you red. Line 127 to 130. Beautiful. You can't even see those lines. 255. I would say I'm not super emotional when programming in general. You are not super emotional. Just casually emotional about programming. Not super emotional, but just, you know, the occasional tear that drops while I'm writing these functions. Yes. Yeah, that's what I experience as well. Just crying about my program. Maybe B, A to B, maybe A. Render, which takes 2 things. Render tile, which only takes the settings. Or it only takes a tile, I guess. To hexagon settings. Tile. So maybe, I put in some maybe to partially apply the second one. And then we compose it to this stuff. And everything works out. And this is how babies are born. Yes, I think I should shed a tear about this. But we also want to not just make you red, but we also want to make you filled. That's the other thing we need to do. Let's do. And the most beautiful thing of all, there will be no state except that one event. So if this compiles, it should work. I'm gonna get really happy if it does. It doesn't compile. It doesn't compile. Oh. What are we gonna do about this? Hexagon color. Variable on the scope, hexagon color. We didn't export this, did we? Hexagon position, hexagon color, hexagon is filled. It took them long enough to figure out it should do that, I guess. Maybe hexagon module is more difficult to compile than we first assumed. But there's no more M tile, right. We deleted that. Just tile now. I wanna also delete our debug statement if we get this to work. Used matches. Oh, what? We forgot to do the comparison. We're doing everything, but it's failing it as well. So that's good, and the color is also good. So yeah, we're getting there. It's not quite. Oh, we're not even using selected. We warned us about it. So if selected is equal to x, then is not equal to x, then x. Let's do that stuff. Oh, I misspelled. Hope we can compare tiles. That would be good. Oh, right, we still need to render you. I guess we want to render in any case. Right, and then you can set the settings. Oh, how annoying. I guess we'll make a rare block. Settings. Dev settings. Now it should work. Well, the other problem is that we're setting the color to the same as the color of the tile, so our label disappears. I don't think that's a big deal. Another issue is that it's so incredibly bright. But this is what I wanted initially. We can't select outside of it for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, because our grid is not big enough, I guess. So we don't know about it. Yay! It's working! Look at how fast it is as well. You can just click anywhere you want and it works. I'm actually not used to Reflex being so fast. Dear God! Look how snappy! It's amazing. I love this! I love this! I'm already having fun. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. Oh, wow. That took a lot. I love this. I don't know if anyone else does. I think this is amazing. Are you entertained? I am entertained. Look how snappy it is as well. Oh my God. I can click all day. I'm so happy. I am entertained. Yes. Okay. So, fill polygon. Done. 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 Yeah, I guess we already finished that other one before. But, now I'm thinking. I have some more time. It's only 9, right? So let's think about what to do else then. Because like the other thing we should be able to do is draw an image on screen in some tile, maybe. So maybe we should work on that next. Because I want to be able to put like some guy somewhere, you know? Like that will be our main character in the world of hexagons. So let's see. That's also a bug we probably should fix, but like we should just have like some guy here, you know, in some position. Yeah. Let's commit this first. Oh, we can also delete our debug message, I guess, because we figured it out correctly. We can just delete this. No longer need do either. Everything works out. Let's see. Finish. Being able to select a hexagon. Cool. So I need to be able to render a image. STL haskell. What does GFX provide us more than? I think their normal STL already provides us a way to draw an image. I think. Image filter. Oh, that's pretty cool. Image filter functionality. Oh, you can actually modify images with splitting and stuff. Using MMX code. Where would you put that? I think our old code was able to draw something from a file. Attribute. Variable size. We need to use the renderer as well, I think. We just put it anywhere, right? Pop window. Create texture. Okay. You got a texture. What do you do with texture? Surface. Texture from surface. I think I need to look at this. I don't know how to do this immediately. I think we want to make a texture somehow and then plot it on screen somewhere with like render copy or whatever. Yeah, you got a texture and then your rectangles. Look at texture. I think we did it in fonts as well, to be honest. Default font. Robo font. We got a font and then we got like what? Oh, we used the STL font thing, right? Which gave us a font. And then in hexagon we used font. Create texture from surface. Text, texture, text surface. Copy our texture. Nothing. Font hex size. So you get a texture or surface. If you have a surface you can create a texture, and with a texture you can copy it on screen. Maybe you can create surface. Surface. Get window surface. Save BMP. Load BMP. There you go. We get a pointer to a surface. And then we have a pointer to a surface which we can put into a texture. And then if it's in a texture we can actually use it. Yes. So we load a PMP and we throw it into the create texture from surface. We get a texture and do the same thing as font. So what are we gonna draw? I think I already have some shitty artwork in here as well. main char.bmp. That'll do. We also want to use key colors. Overlay, like to add transparency, I guess. Could do that later. Yeah, load BMP. It would be better if you can just load the PNG file, I guess. This is a BMP file, right? Bitmap. So you load a BMP. Can you load library, unload library, load BMP, SGL, GFX. These are just operations on top of bitmaps, right? Yep. I think we'll do that next time then. Our new goal will be to do load an image and load an image to do display image on a hexagon. Okay, and then after that, load an image. I'll just point to those functions for next time. So we'll put that in there. I'm sure it'll be super easy. Display image on hexagon, we just have to figure it out. Then I want to like make a menu. To do make a menu, or like an overlay. Make an overlay to display info. This will be like buttons to do things in the game. And I'm probably gonna tell about my game design thing. Yeah, but that will be next time. I'm gonna quit now. Nobody's watching anymore anyway, so thanks everyone that still hung around. And our next goals. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm gonna go now and think about how to do these things, and then also probably write up the docs for this game, because it's a bit sparse right now. But we got something, like we got way more than I thought initially I could do. I thought hexagons would be really hard, but it's actually, turns out it's relatively easy still to do this. Any of this. And it's fast as well. Really fast. Like every time I was using reflex before on JavaScript, it was so slow. But this just feels snappy, right? It's almost instant. And that's crazy to me. Oh yeah. We're gonna make like a, next time we're gonna make a little module to load this stuff in. Yeah. See you later. Bye.